Dude.
We good. We
All
good. We
right.
good.
Okay, okay,
Um.
okay.
Okay. Let's get it.
Ooh.
All right, we ready. We
All
ready.
right.
Listen. Some of you heard, some of you didn't. It don't matter because we're gonna say it all over again. Dude, I don't even. To be honest, I don't really know where to start, man. I had a chance to tell this fella before we even got started. Um, I don't have you on the podcast unless I find you interesting, unless I want to know more about you. And if I want to know more about you, I want more people to know more about you. I'm not saying we got a big
Oh,
platform because it's not like we hitting a million or anything like that, but we ain't doing too bad with these numbers.
one
With that
day.
being said,
One
I was
day.
able to finally, you know what I mean, somehow we were able to get the schedules to work. This man is halfway across the world, um, and he still graces us with his presence. I don't even know where to start. I mean, if you want somebody that can squat, he's got that for sure. You know what I mean? If you want somebody that can bench, bro's got that for sure. If you want one of the coldest deadlifts in the game, he's got that for sure. Could he be 105? Probably. Is he 120? Yeah. Could he go up to 120 plus and still give him crap problem? Bro, he probably could do that too. Um, but yet and still he holds that 120 spot now real nice. And somehow,
Mhm.
I don't know how he makes it look so easy, but he still got me chasing, man. I gotta get my game up. Ladies and gentlemen, I bring you all the way from Cairo, Egypt, the man, the myth, the legend, the pharaoh. Mr. Yaya. Yeah, that was it right there.
Yo.
That, that
that was,
was
that was, that was crisp. That was crisp.
Um, listen, man, I said it before and I'll say it again, man. Like I love watching you lift. I
Yeah,
love your attitude. I love the
I
energy that you
appreciate
bring
it.
to the platform. I love the energy that you bring to life.
Yeah,
And I think more than anything, I enjoy seeing how excited not just you, but your people that are around you, that are surrounded by you. Doesn't matter if you're in the States, doesn't matter if you're halfway across the world. It seems like anybody that encounters you that's around you picks up on your energy and they want to see
yeah.
you be as successful as you want to be. Um,
Hmm.
I just first of all thank you for joining me. This means
Yeah.
quite a bit.
No,
Um,
man. Dude, don't thank me, man. I don't, it is a huge honor for me to be on here.
nah,
Honestly, LS. Like I remember talking about you with like one of my best friends back in the States, Carrington. The fact, like, I was like watching you back then, hitting all these big squat, bench, and deadlift numbers. You competing at Nats and just seeing you on the 93 kg plat. It was crazy, man. And then just talking to Carrie about it. And then like now here I am, fast forward like 4 or 5 years later, and I'm
oh,
talking to you
man,
and I'm on a podcast with you. So like
I appreciate that,
it's just
boss.
crazy. It's just
It
crazy.
means
Like
a lot, man. It definitely means a lot. I think the cool thing,
yeah,
in this game, if you're in it long enough, man, and God blesses you
yeah,
to be able to stay healthy, and
yeah,
if you give back to the game enough, you have those rare opportunities that you have a chance to impact people in whatever way. I'm not saying I'm an
hmm,
impactful person, man, but I definitely feel like God's put me in a lot of positions to
yeah,
touch people in whatever way. And you know, every now and again you'll get that opportunity to cross paths with somebody, man. And
hmm,
our paths have crossed, and I'm so very glad for that, man, because I think it went from maybe one end of like, oh, I'm a
hmm.
fan, to me being able to be a fan. And
Yeah, yeah.
I cannot tell you how much I appreciate just what you give to this game. And the
Thank you
weird
so
thing
much.
is there's a lot of people out there that are like you, man, that I
Hmm.
feel like deserve more shine than what they're getting. And
Yeah,
if in any form or fashion I can do my part to shed light on that so people can understand and see that there's some amazing, powerful people out here that are,
yeah,
are good, solid men, that are good, solid men
hmm,
of faith, that are good, solid men of character, then
hmm.
I definitely want to try to shine a light on that, man. So I again want to thank you for being a part of this. Um,
Pleasure's all mine, honestly. Yeah,
I'm gonna try not to talk as much as I tend to talk.
dude.
I'm a chatterbox, but there's so much about you I want to know. And again, like I said before we got started, I'm a very nosy person, but I'm also messy. So if
Open book.
I'm nosy, I'm gonna bring people with me so that we can all learn about you at one time.
Yeah,
I think my biggest thing, and I just want to hop into it, bro, because I'm telling you,
go
there's
for it.
people out there that just want to know. But they don't. I was one of those. I didn't know. I wanted to know, but I didn't know how to ask because you don't want to
Yeah,
ask. it come off like ignorant, and or you don't want to come off, you know, as
Hmm.
what's the word I'm looking for? Offensive. Um, but
Yep.
one of my biggest things that I notice about you, and
Yeah.
that I thoroughly enjoy, is how devout you are to your faith.
Yes.
Secondly,
Hmm.
when I watched you, if you don't have any friends
Yeah.
that have to train during Ramadan, you don't know what I'm talking about. But to see
Hmm.
friends of yours and to see people, of faith that have to train, that know that they don't have to train, but they choose to train, they choose to compete, they choose to put their bodies through the utmost extremities during Ramadan, during fasting.
Hmm.
It's beyond me in terms of just it's such a mind over matter type thing. But I know, I mean, I fasted quite a bit over my
Hmm.
lifetime, never to that degree, but I do realize how close it really brings you in it to your walk with God. Number one, it really helps you see things about yourself and helps you push yourself beyond
Hmm.
limits that you know of.
Yeah.
That's my first question out the gate, man. Like,
Dude.
how is it, being so, so so dialed in with your faith. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're perfect. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna put
Of
that on
course.
you.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I'm not gonna
No. No.
put that
No.
type of
Of
pressure on
course.
you, but I do know this. I do know that,
Yeah.
you know, if I have no problem if I were to read your posts, or if I were to
Yeah.
watch you lift, or I were to follow your account, I would know, oh, I know this is about Muslim
Hmm.
man. He's a man of
Yep.
faith. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
Hmm.
that is, I'm telling you right now, man, that is probably one of the most beautiful things that I've come to know about you,
Thank you so much,
because
man.
there's a lot of men out there that, and they're men of faith, but they don't wear it as proudly as you do.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, everyone's walk is personal. Everyone's walk is different. But
Hmm.
I mean, out the gate, I definitely want to get into, because I mean, I want to commend you, number one, but number two,
Yeah.
I want people to understand that it's not something that you take lightly. So the floor is
Hmm.
yours.
I appreciate you, my brother. Okay. So look, like I said, I'm a complete open book when it comes to me being a person or as an individual or whatever you want to call it. But in all honesty, man, like, so as a Muslim, you're required to pray 5 times a day. You're required to, when the time is right, fast. You're required to give a certain percentage of your income to, like, throughout the poor or whatever it may be. But
Right,
the thing is, like, my parents, they're both religious, very religious as well, and they pray 5 times a day, and they do their part as devout Muslims. But the thing is like, there's different families all over the world. Obviously, people raise their children in certain ways, and obviously, I'm not a father yet, so I don't know what it's like. But
right,
a huge, and I don't express how much I can say this, but a huge thing goes out to my parents, because they kind of introduced, like, the strength of my religion to me, uh, not in an aggressive way. Some
right,
people get so, like, distraught with, like, religion, or they get so intimidated by it because, like, uh, sometimes it's just pushed towards them in an aggressive manner. So they
right,
kind of take it as, like, oh, like, that's just not me.
right,
But it's like, like, in Islam, you're required to pray, like, as soon as you're capable of doing so. Like, your
right,
your brain is under able to understand, like, the
right,
movements of prayer and memorizing everything. But never once did they, like, say, like, oh no, like, go pray, go this, go that.
right.
They truly believe that they can just give me the knowledge,
Absolutely.
and God shows me the way. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
a huge part of it is, it's just my heart. Like, I'm not trying to say I'm like, oh, I have this big heart, but, like, I want to say, like, I'm just um it's so hard. Like, I fear God a lot. You know what I mean? And I feel
Absolutely.
like whenever, like, I do anything, or if it's something that just doesn't feel right, the first thing that hits the back of my mind is God.
Yeah.
Trying to please the all knowing. You know what I mean? So it just plays a huge role in, like, my training style, in my life in general, the steps I take as becoming a man or an individual or a supplier of the world.
Mhm.
I'm not afraid to obviously, or like kind of like shy to kind of show that I'm a religious person. Like, I'm never gonna forget it. Like a couple of years, like I said to like one of my friends, like, "Oh, inshallah," as like it's like kind of part of my like the way I speak now.
Yeah,
It just means God willing.
yeah,
But like now, like my friend, he can be like a very religious, like it can be any other religion, but he'll be like, "Oh, inshallah," or oh, like he'll kind of just throw words out there and just kind of like talk to me about it, and it's just like, um, I think a huge part of like my success or anything I've had is it has to do with God, and
absolutely,
I don't think I could have done anything without the all knowing, but I think everything plays a role in it, even if it's injuries, you know.
absolutely.
I think also like getting like a serious injury, it
Yeah,
plays a huge role in like what comes behind something negative. There's always going to be something positive waiting
absolutely,
behind it.
absolutely.
And my religion will definitely say like something called something my parents have always taught me. They said, "For كل تأخيرة فيها خيرة," and what that means is, with everything that comes late, it's going to be a lot better than what you wanted it when you at the time you wanted it at. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? And I just couldn't, see my life without being able to, have that sort of connection with God and kind of just, and I'm obviously not afraid to show it. You could tell by now I'm a devout Muslim. I pray 5 times a day. Alhamdulillah. I fast when Ramadan comes. Ramadan was just the month, like about a month ago. So
Yeah.
it was it's good. You get just that detox, 30 days. You get closer to God. It shows you like, oh, you wake up because we stop eating like when sunrise.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And people are usually stressing like, oh, I can't pray. Like for example, Fajr because it just doesn't match with my schedule. But
Right.
you can you can show yourself that, oh, I gotta stay up till Fajr so I can get my last meal in.
Yep.
So that's how it is. So it's like God kind of like showing you like, hey, like you can do it. And this is your month to show that it's okay to
Absolutely.
make mistakes. And it's just like the month of Ramadan is just not like a month of like for Muslims to know how like, oh, how the poor or the like people who struggle to get a meal, or uh, it's for us to feel like it's like a whole month of just detox. You know what I mean?
Right.
From the outer world.
Absolutely.
But
The
yeah, man. Honestly, I have a respect for all religions, um, and that's it, man. Honestly, I'm very blessed, to be able
absolutely.
to be
I
here, and you know,
So I mean, when you're in, especially during Ramadan, man, and you're having to
yeah.
train, is it? I mean, do you feel? And again, these are just questions. Is somebody that's
Go
not well
ahead. Yeah, yeah,
educated.
yeah.
But do you feel? Do you feel drained? Do you feel? uh, What's the word? Um, Almost in a rut, so to speak, or is it one of
Yeah,
those things where as you feel the as the I guess as you feel the draining and as you feel the
yeah.
fatigue, kind
Oh
of
yeah. Mhm.
the insurmountable fatigue that you start to begin to feel, is it one of those things where, all right, I knew that this was coming. Um,
Mhm.
I'm mentally prepared. Regardless if I'm physically prepared, I am mentally prepared to face this challenge, to weather this storm, because the reasoning behind this is so much greater than my temporary feeling that I'm feeling right now. Or is it one of those things like, bro, I'm hurt, I'm gassed? Like, what's that
Mhm.
feeling like? Again, I don't know. So I mean,
No, no,
I'm
no.
asking because I want those people out there to know.
Completely fine, man. I love the questions, honestly. So I'm gonna be honest with you. There's no way a human body can be like, oh, I'm gonna fast and I'm gonna be able to hit a PR. It's not like, oh, we're like it's okay. Like this is gonna make me physically stronger. It's more of like the month of Ramadan. It makes me in particular it makes me feel very, very mentally strong. Like there's been days where I'm like, oh, like back in the States, obviously, I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a lot more harder to fast during Ramadan because when we would break our fast, it would be a lot later
Oh
than
yeah,
like
yeah.
for say the people here in Egypt, the sun goes down. really early here. Like it was going down at like 5 p.m. sometimes, you know. And that's like a reasonable time for you to break your
Absolutely.
fast. But like back when I was in the States, sometimes like the sun wouldn't go down to like 9 p.m. Over in Minnesota. So it's like it was a lot more complicated and like obviously so Egypt is like a very Muslim based country. So what they do is that they kind of revolve the month of Ramadan around everybody's like daily, you
Yeah.
know, stuff. So
Very
it
accommodating.
makes yeah, so they accommodate for sure and they kind of make it easier for us. Like not in like that way where like, oh dang, like giving us food or anything, but like no, like they make it easier for like for example, like if iftar is at 5, you know, they make sure every single person in the entire country is out of work by 3 p.m., you know,
Oh, that's
and it's
amazing. Yes.
you know what I mean? So like, and if you're like, oh, you're on the way to home and you're like, man, I'm not gonna make it. How am I gonna break my fast? There's people like giving out food in the you know, like here's some dates, here's some juice, here's some this,
Yeah.
here's some that to like break your fast until you get home and are able to eat
Yeah.
like a
Give you a chance
well
to make it home.
caloric
Yeah.
meal. But it's not easy. Of course, like I'd say like the first 7 days are like the most like aggressive because it hits you like a truck. You're like, oh man, no water, no caffeine, no coffee, no energy drinks, no whatever it may be, man. Like it just hits you, but then like you get to like that second week and you're like, oh, this is easy. Like I'm not even stressing about it. And then you get to like that fourth week and you're like, I can literally go in and train and not like feel like the effect on my body because it's like your body like took like a detox. Like I don't know how to explain it,
Yeah.
but then it's like a soothing feeling, I guess I could say. But you know, even if I don't get strong or if I lose weight, which I always do
Yeah.
in the month of Ramadan, I lose around 3 to 4 pounds of like strict weight.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like okay, there's 12 months in a year. What's one of those months to sacrifice uh, for the Lord? You know, so I
Absolutely.
couldn't be happier for doing it, and it's also it's to make us feel what let the unfortunate feel. You know what I mean? So, but yeah,
That's beautiful, bro. Like I I think it's a couple of years. A couple of years ago, I reached out to a couple of my Muslim friends. I'm like, hey man, next year I want to do I
yeah,
want to participate. I mean, because there's quite a few non-Muslim
yeah,
people that actually they practice Ramadan. And for me, I guess my thing was I wanted it's not just to walk in another man's shoes, but it's at the end of the day, it's about sacrificing my time, my priorities to God. Um, no matter Christian, no matter Muslim, doesn't
mhm,
matter, but making sure that the God I serve understands that I'm willing to sacrifice my time, my efforts,
of course,
my
hmm
to increase my
hmm
discipline, so that they,
hmm
so that I guess someone that I can get closer to, that I can understand that I can sacrifice more than I'm doing
yeah,
right now, and three, just to be closer,
hmm
bro. Like just and
yeah,
the thing is you know religion is one of those things that's such a beautiful personal experience, and
hmm
I mean there's nations that are formed from it. There's wars that are started because of it. There's people that have died because of it. People that
yep,
are willing to
hmm
sacrifice themselves for it. It's such a beautiful thing, and it's bigger than any of us.
yep,
And one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life was just the practicing of religion. And I often share the story with
yeah,
people that want to know that I'm like I said I'm as Christian as they come. I'm raised in a Christian family, and much like you, my parents didn't force my religion on me, but rather they opened the door and they gave me an opportunity to step
yep,
in and figure out, is
hmm
this something that's for me, or should I choose other options, or do I want to practice religion in any form of fashion? And the crazy thing, and I'm sure you can agree to
hmm
this, once you get to a point in your faith it doesn't necessarily seem like you're practicing any type of religion. It doesn't seem like religion at all. It's your lifestyle. It's just who you are as a person. And I
Yep,
think as a
literally. Hmm.
result of that, you you come to understand people that are of other faiths. You come to appreciate people that are of other faiths, and at the end of the day,
Hmm.
you realize that we're all trying to serve this God to be better, to sacrifice our times, our
Yep.
efforts, our
Hmm.
money, our material, our lives, so to speak, for something bigger, something better that's bigger than us. And so you see all
Of
these
course.
beautiful
Hmm.
things. And I probably had one of the coolest experiences when I was in Vegas actually with one of my boys and like, hey, let's go to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
he's, he's just a good old boy, from the South, one of,
Hmm.
cool dude, real nice guy, you know, and really hadn't been to a lot of places, hadn't seen much, so it is what it is. Hadn't experienced a lot of different people. It is what it is. Um,
Hmm.
of no fault of his own, it's just how he was, right? And so we're at the Grand
Hmm.
Canyon, and there's 5 or 6 gentlemen. The bus is getting ready to go, and all of a sudden,
Hmm.
the bus stop, like almost jam on his brakes, because
Hmm.
everyone's going their separate ways, and these young men, they all rush out.
Hmm.
A couple
Hmm.
of elders, they rush out. You know what I mean? I'll say you see the max go
Hmm.
down. You know what I mean? Everybody face cease.
Yeah.
Boom, prayer time. And I'm like, oh, I've never seen this.
Hmm.
I've never seen this in real life. That's
Hmm.
my first time experiencing it in real life and seeing just, you
Hmm.
know, it's one thing like, oh, can we make it? I don't know if we can maybe make it back in time for prayer. I don't know if we're gonna make it time and back, back in time for prayer to be like, bus driver, you gotta stop. It's time for us to pray. And for the bus driver, like, what, you're right. Let me go and
Hmm.
stop this for y'all and get out and pray. And I just honestly, bro, that's probably one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, because here you see these 3 men. We're on the west side of the Grand Canyon. So I mean, if you can picture it, we're on the west side of the Grand Canyon. These men
Yeah.
face east. And so you have these men facing east, praying
Hmm.
with the Grand
Hmm.
Canyon in front of them, my boy.
Gosh,
It
that's
was
absolutely
honestly,
beautiful. I'm just trying to picture it, and it already
it
sounds
was
breathtaking, honestly.
it was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. And of course, anybody that knows me knows I'm a baby when it comes to anything, right? So I am balling, bro. I never seen it in my
Hmm.
life. Tears streaming.
Hmm.
And I'm like, bro, that's got to be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. He's like, man, what are they doing, bro? What are they doing? I'm like, they're praying. They're praying. I'm like, yeah, man. Like, why are they praying? I was like, well, the Muslim, man, they're called to pray. Like, oh, for real? And I'm thinking in my head, like, oh, this dude's about to knock him. He's like, man, I don't know if I pray 5 times in a
Yeah.
week. And I'm like, you know what, bro? You're right. Why don't I pray more? Why don't I give more of myself? You know what I mean? I feel like it would benefit me more, So then, you start seeing like, you know what? They're on to something with that. That praying at least 5 times a day, I think I can do that. So then I personally started
Yeah.
trying to increase my prayer frequency. And the more if I felt like the more I prayed, the closer I felt. But not only the closer I felt, the more dialed in I felt. The more dialed in I felt, the more disciplined I felt. The more disciplined I felt, the more I felt like I could do more with what I was, with what I was able of doing.
Yeah.
And then you look at my day, I'm like, my
Yep. Yep.
day,
Yep.
there's a lot of times in my day that I could be doing a lot more with the time that I have, but I'm not. Um,
Yeah.
like, okay, all right, okay. You know what I mean? So it makes you, it's one of those things, like, if you allow it to, religion can be one of those things that
Yeah.
can really add a new layer to the onion that is your life. And for some,
Yep.
it's great for some, and for some, they're just not for it. And for those, I mean,
Yep.
it is what it is. I mean, I can't tell you, one way or the other. I can tell you what works for me. I can tell you what's worked for my friends. I can
Yep.
tell you how it's affected me. But I think at the end of the day, it's made me definitely a better man for sure. It helps. It's helped me mature better
Yeah.
as a man, as a father, as a husband, as a son.
No, for sure. Hmm.
But
Hmm.
as a lifter, it gave me the discipline that I didn't have. Um,
Yeah.
because you're able to attach it to something. So each set is
Yeah.
is each set is almost a prayer of sorts, at least for me. um
Yeah, for sure.
my rage, the rage that I have, that when I go black, when I see red, I'm like, all right, am I able to perform the way that I want to, or do I need to calm down? Do I need
Hmm.
to lean into this?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. And like I said, throwing back to you
Hmm.
and just seeing how you so freely give how you so freely give your attention to God, how you so freely give your energies to
Yeah.
to your faith, man,
Hmm.
it floors me. And so
Yeah.
I was instantly drawn to like just your vibe. I'm like, this dude
Hmm.
is he's different. And not that the lifters that we lift against, that we compete against, that we compete for, and all that stuff, not that they aren't great people. Well, there's some
Yeah.
amazing people that we've encountered. But for some reason,
Hmm.
you caught my eye, and I wanted to follow your journey. And I mean, and I've watched it, and I've watched it just keep growing and growing and growing.
Yeah. Hmm.
Which, and I mean, we're gonna do a lot of this.
Yeah.
But I want to fast.
Yeah.
I want to hit present day right now. And
Hmm.
how you said, how your faith, how your religion, how it brings out those, those a lot of positives out of negative things. You know, the most recent negative things for those that follow is, I mean, you had a knee injury. Um,
Yep.
and
Partially tore my left ACL.
and rather than being like, why me, why me, why me, you flipped it. You've been flipping it,
Hmm.
showing the progress as you've gone. And at no point, and I'm sure at some point you'll have a down moment, man, but it's always been smiles, up to this point. It's been very positive. It's been
Hmm.
very encouraging. It's been very inspiring. um have you always
Thank
naturally
you, man.
been that type of person where the glass is always half full? Or is it something that you worked on as you matured as a man? I just
Mhm.
it's been a beautiful thing to watch.
LS, like my dad, like you know, I literally, like, I even have like the video. Like my dad, like I was getting ready to bench, weight that I've never
Mhm,
like, so I've never had to like worry about this kind of weight. I was gonna double a certain bench,
mhm.
and I hit an entire squat session, you know, before this bench. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there. I hit my squat session. It was a great squat session. It was a week 4 squat. And now I'm moving on to like a double on bench. You know what I mean? So I hit all my warm ups. Everything's feeling crazy strong today. You know what I mean? And I have never asked. I kid you not. Like the last time I maybe asked for a spot with this weight, it was I think it was 220 so 484 pounds for a double. So usually I wouldn't take a spot because sometimes like um you don't know who's gonna give you a lift off. So I was like, you
Right.
know what? I'm gonna go make sure I get a spot for this because anything can happen. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
This is obviously moments before the tear in my ACL. And then I hit it. I literally I hit the first rep, smoked it, was coming down for a second. My knee slipped and then it completely ruptured the left I think it's the MCL, the doctor told me, but I would definitely need to check. Um but that's what I'm saying. It's like that's what those are the type of things I tie back to God. Like put it like this. That bad thing was bound to happen to me. It's written for me. It's something that's written for me because I do believe that God believes I am able to bounce back from something like this. You know what I mean? So in a way, something bad happened to me, but in another way, I have to thank God because he protected me. Like I'm sitting here with 484 pounds on my chest. Somebody was there to help me. If I didn't go get him, I could have potentially gotten it.
Right.
It could have been way worse than what it was. I'm not going to be able to bench sub 500 pounds with a partially torn ACL. You know what I mean? So that's where these are the things that I tie back to God and my appreciation for faith. And it's just like it's just that guidance. It's like I literally wasn't planning on taking a lift off, and something just sparked in my head like, hey, go get a lift off. It's like somebody tapped me on my shoulder, hey, go get a lift out because you don't know what's going to happen right now.
Absolutely.
And it's those type of things that just attracts me to faith and to the power of the all knowing. And it's just I couldn't be more blessed to have something like that in my life. And my dad told me, there's 24 hours in a day. It takes you 24 minutes to pray.
Mm,
That's literally exactly how he says it. You know what
mm,
I mean? So when somebody tells you something like that, you can't sit there and be like, okay, don't tell me you don't have 24 minutes of your day to pray for the only thing you're gonna have after mom and dad and after your family. You know what I mean? Because mom and dad aren't gonna be here forever. You know what I mean?
man, facts.
And say you're not married. You're not married. You don't have kids. Who do you have at that point? You have nothing but God.
You have nothing but God, bro.
So it's better to be on his good side than to be on his bad side. Like something I always like to say to my friends, there's literally absolutely zero, zero negatives of having a faith and believing in God.
No,
Like there's nothing bad that's gonna happen to you if you believe in, the all an all knowing. You know what I mean?
I
But
think,
say judgment day comes, but everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? But
I think a lot of
I
it is.
enjoy,
I mean, for those of our number that do have faith and
yeah.
do have this personal relationship with God and are able
Hmm.
to equate a
Hmm.
lot of our successes, a lot of our failures, a lot of our lessons
Yeah.
to having that
Hmm.
relationship with God. I think, for those of us on this side, it's as plain as day. But I also know
Yeah.
that a lot of us have had such a positive experience on this end
Hmm.
that, it wasn't easy to make the choice. You know what I mean? Whereas
Yep. Yeah.
there's
Of
some out
course.
there that just have not had that opportunity. They weren't raised in a home where they were introduced as such.
Hmm.
Their journey is not such a straight road, maybe that we've had. Um,
Of course.
and
Of
so
course.
they have to take that long, windy road. A lot of speed bumps,
Hmm.
a lot of chasms, a lot of mountains. And not saying that
Yeah.
one day they may not get to that point that we know that we so hope that they get to. Um,
Of course.
Religion is such a it's a beautiful thing, but a lot of people have
Yeah.
done some ugly things in the name of religion that have run a lot of potential
Of
people off.
course.
And so for that,
Every day.
every
Every
day they
day.
continue to every day. So it's there's such a hard, sorry, such a
Literally
hard part
a hard pill
of
to swallow.
this beautiful life that we have in terms of our relationship with God has been used
Oh
to
man.
hurt, to kill.
Man.
Um,
Dude.
Sorry.
No, no, don't worry about it, man.
I
You're I don't get usually uh like emotional. I'm not I wouldn't say I'm the most emotional person, but
I'm
there's
very
been times where just talking about God or religion in general, it just gives a person goosebumps. So
no. It's but it's a beautiful life to live. It's a
yeah.
beautiful God to serve when you're on the receiving end of so many blessings. I have blessings walking downstairs, just running around being these beautiful little queens. But I've a wonderful family. And
Awesome, man.
to think that in the name of religion, whatever, what have you, that someone would be willing to kill them, to sacrifice them, to do them harm. It
Hmm.
blows my mind because like you said, there's nothing when you're on such a beautiful end of this, there's nothing bad about believing in God. There's nothing bad that really happens to you when
Yeah.
you give your life, to the Almighty God. I always think to myself, I mean, if I get to end of my life having worshiped and given my life to God, and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, there's nothing after this. There's no day of judgment.
Hmm.
You were duped. Okay. So
Yeah.
I spent the majority of my life trying to be a better person, trying to help as many
Hmm.
people as possible. trying to help my
Hmm.
neighbor, trying to be a more disciplined person, trying to make my community better than I found it. I think I did all right. You know what I mean? At the
Yeah.
very least, okay, so there's nothing at the end of this. All right, bet. But I promise you this, my life was it was well worth it. I lived a
You still lived.
I
Yep.
lived a very fulfilled life,
Yep.
very disciplined life, and I think at least a few people will be at my funeral like, he was a good dude. And I'm cool with
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
to live my life without hope, to live my life without
Hmm.
the being inspired to do something bigger and better, to live my
Hmm.
life without having a goal. I feel like it to not have a goal in your life is it's empty for me. I can only speak for me. But to live my life with
Yeah.
no goals,
No, no, no. Understandable.
I would feel empty. Now I have my goals. I have my
Hmm.
intermediate goals. I have my long-term goals, but then I have my ultimate goal. So for me to not hang that ultimate goal at the end of my days, like, you know what? When it's all said and done,
Hmm.
I'm gonna make it to the promised land.
Yep.
That is, I don't know
Yep.
that I could do it, man. I don't know that I could live a life just like, all right, I'm just living to die,
Yeah.
bro. Who lives to die? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
you probably thought we were going to talk about a lot of lifting. We'll get to that at some point. But to to live a
No, man.
life,
Honestly, this topic is yeah.
I I I just hope people understand the beauty behind the discipline that is being of your faith. And I feel like you display that, you know,
Yeah.
you're one of the best at displaying that. And like I said,
Thank
you
you so
you
much.
practice everything that you preach.
Mhm.
And when you got hurt, it was not once was it woe is me. Hey, this is what happened. This is the information that was given. I'm gonna give it to you. Do with it as you
Mhm.
will, but we're gonna keep going. And as we keep going, I'm gonna
Yep.
document it. And you know what I mean? Like tap in with me if you want.
Hmm.
If you don't want to, that's fine. But I mean, you've been killing it. Now, let's rewind it.
Thank you, man, so
We're
much.
gonna talk about the times that when you
Hmm.
weren't hurt. So
Yeah.
anybody that follows what you had a point like when I first started following, I mean you know what I'm saying, you were in the you were like mid to upper fours in your bench, you know what I'm saying? The squat was like,
Hmm.
mid to upper sixes, you know what I mean? Deadlift was already crazy. It was like
Hmm.
it was like upper sevens, mid to upper sevens. So I'm like, this dude's about to hit eight anytime.
Yep.
And then there was a period of time
Hmm.
I think I blinked and like 3, 4 months later, I'm like, all right, everything like 7+ squat, bench is 500 plus, like crazy
Hmm.
easy. I mean, dead's like knocking eights. I'm like, what is going on, man? Like, what did I miss? Am I the only one? I feel like this is no lie. Anthony's my witness, bro. I felt like there was a
Yeah.
point in time where I was like, all right, so is everyone pulling eight? Because I haven't touched eight since like 2021. Bro, like, and I had to do it with straps because it was freezing outside.
Dude, it's like, yeah.
So
Hmm.
what happened? Like, again, I'm not knocking. I'm like, bro,
Dude, no, so like, dude, it's just like, okay, so there's information given to you, and there's things you witness, and you are able to do with it as you please, man. So
facts.
I'm sitting here, I'm sitting in my room. I had just got done with IPF Worlds.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm just like, dude, literally, no matter how strong you are, there's always one person stronger, in the room. He might
Yes,
be a heavier person, he might be a lighter person, it might even be a girl, but there's always one person
let's
stronger than
let
you.
you
It
know.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you're doing. So I'm gonna be honest with you, LS. Like going into like the year of 2022, I was literally all gas, no brakes. I was full throttle. I was to me, I was like, okay, I had the strongest junior, sorry, 120 kg, or sorry, 110. And then I switched over to IPF for Powerlifting America when it was still fresh. Um, and I was like, okay, I don't care who's in front of me. I'm going to Worlds. And it was my dream to go to Worlds. and I'm gonna make it there.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's exactly what I did. I just my strength just shot through the roof, and it's like I'm seeing all these numbers. I'm like, how is this lighter weight class pulling more than me? I have to work harder. I have to work harder because I can't allow that. And then I just had this mentality. It's like, okay, you're either gonna work harder or he's gonna work harder for you. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And here I am. It just all happened so fast. I blinked my eyes, I opened my eyes, and I was pulling for the win on an IPF World stage in Turkey, in Istanbul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and then obviously I came in second, um, but then it just like kind of like slapped me. You know what I mean in
Yep.
the face, like you're not ready for this. You can go back to the
Back
end
to
of
the
the
lab.
line and then restart it. And that's kind of just how my journey's been since that day. Like I was very very blessed to be on that stage at IPF World. I could not, if I could relive it all again just to lose again, I would do it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I'm not upset that I lost. Like my goal was I was around like 70 kilos when I first started lifting, like back in 2019.
Mhm.
And I saw, I was watching Russ, and like I obviously like about 70% of like all dudes nowadays were introduced to powerlifting by Russ when you're up and
Right.
coming like back then, and like Larry Wheels and all these people. And I'm like, there's got to be something like that I can do. I want to do something. I want to do a
Right.
meet. And then I did literally one meet, and then I hit 5 meets that year. I had no coach. Some of the meets were like a month apart, and I was just like, dude, I love this sport, man. And
Hey,
like
it is
it
what
was
it is.
crazy. And then my weight went from like 70 kg to like 100 kg by the time I did my first meet. I gained so much weight, and it's like, and then I was like, okay, so right now I'm at the bottom. What is the top level in the sport? Oh, to make it to IPF Worlds. And then I was like, man, it's my dream to make it there one day. And then fast forward 3 years later after that, I made it.
That's
But
crazy.
now I would definitely say I'm at the back of the line, but I'm happy. But not because there's a difference between being happy and content. There's no way I'm content where I'm
Absolutely.
at. But I'm happy because I I'm gonna do whatever it takes. And I know this might sound like cliche or anything, but I am going to do whatever it takes to get back on that IPF stage.
Absolutely.
Um, and I'm happy that I'm very, very, again, I do believe I'm very far away from that right now. But I do believe if anybody has the mentality to be patient and make it there, it's me. Um,
Big facts.
so like I was saying, my dad was telling me, "Oh, dude, you literally just tore your ACL, and you're already like you're under the bar benching so the thing that hurts you is the only thing you can do now." And I said, "Yeah, it's just you got to keep rolling with it. You
That's
can't
funny.
stop."
Well, I mean, let's be
You
honest.
know,
Like sometimes you gotta face that demon. You know what I mean? If that's the one that took me out, but that's the one I'm gonna. You gotta see me.
literally,
Like if you took me out, you
literally,
gotta see me. Like you know what I mean? Like I think we kind of you kind of mentioned that. Like when I asked you about the being on the podcast. Like yeah, I
yeah.
I I I'm very. Dude, keep my little one down there going crazy. Uh, she's talking. She just found her voice. Oh,
That's awesome, man.
it's funny, man. She's hilarious. I I think that's it's something to be said about that because here's the thing. Usually the thing that hurts you is the one you're like, all right, I'll come see you later. But because that's
Yeah,
the thing that took you out, like, well, one, I gotta see you. Two, you're really all I can do right now anyway.
yeah.
I mean,
So
so
we gotta,
yeah, so
yeah.
at the end of the day, the crazy thing, the thing that hurts you is probably gonna be the thing that benefits you the most. You know what I mean? Like if you look in terms of lifters, the one thing that always
Mhm,
tends to take them out, with the exception of maybe literally six or seven lifters in the world across all weight
mhm.
classes is of course bench press. If your
Yeah.
bench is crazy, it's gonna
Mhm.
greatly benefit you in a meet. If your bench is mid, it's basically you just use it to kind of stay in the meet. to continue your momentum. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bench is
Yep.
trash. You're just doing just enough to get to the to deadlift, really. Um,
Hmm.
so if bench was the thing to take you out, then cool. But because you already had a very solid bench prior, to getting hurt,
Yeah.
this is just going to make that bench monstrous. I feel like it's
Hmm.
harder to get the bench back than it is the other lifts for sure. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
living proof of that. Like I literally went for benching 540, 560. I think, yeah, most I ever did like 556, I think,
Hmm.
to I think I
Same.
my
Yeah.
my labrum was it was wrecked, posterior anterior
Uh-huh.
just wrecked, and I went without a labrum all of last year, and I think the most I
Hmm.
got was like 491. You know what I mean? It
Hmm.
was trash, but I'm like, hey, this is all I got.
Bro, that's still a
I
good
have
bench,
I have
man.
nothing in me. I mean, that's just
Yeah.
no labrum. Like just and the thing is, it
Yeah.
wasn't that the strength wasn't there. It was just the pain was on another level. Like I don't. That
Yeah.
was for me. It was the pain. It was pain. Like I just pain to the point that like my shoulder was just freezing. I'm like, all right, well, I guess I got nothing. This is it. But
Yeah.
to know that because I mean you'll get back on it. You know what I mean? Because I mean the thing is, if you haven't seen this man, his legs are humongous. You know what I mean? He's not a small dude. He may have started at 70 kg. He's not 70 kg right now. Maybe each thigh is
Nah,
70 kg.
I
He's
definitely
not,
like to say I
his
ate
thighs
that
are
dude. Yeah.
humongous. He's not a small fellow. So, I mean, because of that, because your stature, like the two things I know for a fact is this dude can pull and this dude should be able to squat, both of which you do very, very well. Um, there's again, I get to brag about him to his face rather than behind his back. The cool thing about watching Yaya when he lifts is his explosion is the next level. You get a lot of lifters like myself. I'm not a very explosive lifter, per se, especially off of the ground with the deadlift, because I know that the more explosive I get, the more balance I lose. I'm not very good with, so I
Hmm.
have to really kind of control my explosiveness. This dude is, if it leaves the ground, that thing is gonna fly. Um, so he might have one of the best set of stabilizers that I've ever seen. Because bro, like it'll just pop. I'm like, how does he just able to stand there and not move? Because I can do that. I'd fall backwards. I do the splits or something. It would end in bad news. So I have no doubt that your deadlift and your bench, I mean your deadlift and your squat, they'll be back very, very quickly, just because
Hmm.
one, your work ethic, and two, just you're naturally built, you're built to hoist and you're built to squat, so you're good. um
Yeah.
I think the cool thing that I'm going to be interested in seeing as a lifter, as a coach, is going to be if the technique changes. um
Hmm.
if you watch his setup, and again, I literally am talking about this dude to his face, is he has a very wide setup when it comes to when it comes
Yeah.
with a squat. It's almost a sumo style squat, so to speak. Um,
Hmm.
so I'm again, I don't know what your plans are between then and now. I mean, obviously you have a lot of time, but obviously you know with that style having so much pressure on, obviously, on
Yeah.
your adductor and abductors, and of course on your knees because of the wide setup. I'm
Hmm.
interested to see, okay, is if at all his setup is going to change at all. I submit that it probably won't, because I mean you're strong, so it doesn't really matter. But the cool
Hmm.
thing about being a world class lifter, yeah, he'll say he's at the bottom of the road, but he's not. He's not at all. The thing about being a world class lifter, and being the 1% of the 1% is that not much has to change for you to get that strength and or to reacquire the strength that was once lost.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see if any changes are going to be made at all. Um,
Hmm.
the 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 really cool thing is there's maybe two or three lifters that I know that have Yaya's particular setup, especially with a squat, that are very successful at it. Because it does require a lot. Because I mean, you have a wide setup, it's low bar. Here's the crazy thing: dude might be 120, but he's got a very good range of motion, which is crazy. His mobility is ridiculous. So it's a little, it's low bar. It could be a little past low bar almost, but it's a solid setup. So there's really not a lot of room for error. The way he squats, it's a very what's the word I'm looking for? Efficient way of moving the bar with a minimal amount of bar travel time. So this equates to him being able to load tons more weight than your average lifter can load. I'm excited because there's not a lot of people that are able to do that. Um, One, because of leverages, two, just because of the posterior the posterior strain that it's going to give a lifter, but you do it so efficiently. And I think I tried once or twice. I'm like, dude, I'm about to tear something. Like I was like, there's no way I can go this wide. I don't know that my abductors, adductors, I don't know if they're strong enough to withstand that. And then let's go ahead and flip it. Let's go over to deadlift and let's go ahead and hit them with a sumo. And the thing is, it's not a super duper wide sumo because there's only so wide you can go with the bar being set the way it is. But it's a wide enough sumo. Like, dude, this dude is he's just I don't know how he does it, but he does it. But the thing that's crazy to me is how fast that bar moves. And I don't know if that's something that's always a kind of a thing in your head, like all right, explosion, explosion, explosion. But is that something without obviously giving away too many of the secrets? Is that always been something that you like tried to train? Is like I want to not only just train my strength, but I want to train my explosiveness as well.
So like, dude, so like, I know this sounds weird, man, but like, I wouldn't say like, okay, I wasn't the best football player. Okay, I really wasn't.
Mhm.
But I've I've always like in football, I was playing for high school, and I was like, okay, um, the way I'm gonna get better at football is just trying to be as explosive as possible. So I just kind of just the basics. Like when I first started like lifting on my own and like deadlifting, I was a conventional puller,
Mhm.
so I just pulled conventional, and my main goal was like just rip it and grip it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like, but like with sumo, it's like it was a completely different like switch over. I'm like, okay, so like how am I gonna apply like my explosiveness to something that requires patience? You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because I switched over to sumo and I was like, this is a completely different realm. I Then I was like, you know what? Forget about this. I'm going back to conventional. And then I was like, okay, conventional isn't working. I'm not getting stronger. All right, we'll try sumo again. And then I'm sitting over here. I'm never gonna forget the first day I switched over to sumo. I was in I think it was Lifetime Fitness in Woodbury, Minnesota. I was pulling on the turf and I found this like way to like wedge into the bar to kind of like wiggle into it. And
Yeah.
then as soon as I'm wiggled, I can just go back to my rip it and grip it. You know what I mean? So here I am. I'm like, okay, now I'm a sumo puller and I'm pulling kind of explosively like how I was during conventional, and it's working out for me. You know what I mean? And then I just I just kept going, and I'm like, okay, that wiggle is what gives me like that. As long as I'm pulling slack, I'm gonna yank no matter what. That weight is breaking the ground. You know what I mean?
That's
And that's just
crazy.
kind of my my cues, I guess you could say for
I
like
mean,
deadlifts
hey,
and
it works
sumo.
for you
But
because I mean that you keep doing this, it keeps doing this. So I'm like, sheesh. It's
dude,
it's crazy. I'm glad you said that because I think that's one
yeah,
thing that a lot of young lifters, a lot of lifters in general experience as well, tend to forget is, I mean, I coach a lot of people, right? I have a lot of
yeah,
amazing athletes. Shout out to each one of you guys. But the one thing that any coach will tell you, any good lifter like yourself will tell you is at some point you've got to find what works for you, right? You've kind of got to
hmm
find there are the non-negotiables within the realm of technique, but there also are just those points in time in your lifting that you're like, you know what? I need to find what works for me. I don't
hmm
want to hurt myself, but I need to find what works for me. I can take the blueprint that's been given. I'll take pieces of
yep,
that, but I've got to make sure that it's my own. Um, if you found what works for you, and it's
hmm
not one of those things that happens overnight. It's a little bit trial and error. Sometimes it happens immediately. Sometimes it doesn't. But for the most part, it's like, all right, now I found that this works. Now I'm going to keep trying to do this over and over and over. If it's
yeah,
working, then I'm going to stick with it. It's going to become my thing. And I think you found what worked for you. You found your thing that really works for you. Now, if I were to
yeah.
go into my gym downstairs and try to do that, I try to grip and rip. I promise you, I'll grip. There ain't gonna be no rip other than my freaking hamstrings probably. Um, because I mean, I just it's crazy because
Yeah.
one thing that I do really really enjoy is I mean you're a what's the word, you're one of those psychos, so you pull
Hook grip.
You're a hook gripper.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it is crazy. So, have you always pulled hook, or is that one of those things like, you know what, I can get better leverages? I feel like I can lock in a little bit more. I can wedge more with the hook grip. Is
Yeah.
that has that always been your thing, or is that something like, you know what, I need to do better, so I'm gonna start pulling hook.
Okay, so here's my hot take, Ellis. And this is literally gonna be probably one of like the highest stakes ever. So like I think, right, the harder way to pull sumo is mixed grip. I think if you pull sumo and you pull mixed grip, you are like crazy good at what you do, if I'm being completely honest. Like there's been some people like I've seen like them pull mixed grip and they just make it so like just so crisp, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's something I've never been able to do. You know what I mean? I was using like these Versa grips, right? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, sumo feels so good when I'm double overhand, you know what I mean? So I'm sitting over here, I'm talking to my friend Carrie. He's just a absolutely freakishly strong deadlifter, man.
Carrie is
He
first of all, Carrie ain't even now. Carrie makes me so mad when he pulls, bro, because you like
dude, he
because
just
he
makes it
makes
look
it look so
easy.
easy, number one.
I know.
And then and it's like Carrie don't even sweat. Listen, if you y'all, and I hope Carrie listens to this because I'm talking mad trash right now.
Please do,
Carrie
man.
don't even sweat when he deadlifts, bro.
Literally.
He might sweat a little bit on squat, barely. Might sweat a little
Yeah.
bit on bench. You Carrie won't break a sweat on dead, and he'll pull. He'll pull anything, bro. You put anything. There's one thing like, oh, I'll pull sevens, I'll pull eights, then like I pull carry. Like, bro, like this dude, you put it on the
Yeah.
bar, he can pull it, and it looks so crispy, bro. Like
Uh, yeah.
I've never seen to this day, I've never seen Carrie pull a deadlift, and it looked like, oh, that was ugly. You don't even got to
Yeah.
get it, bro. Like even when
That's scary for
if
you.
Carrie if he doesn't complete the rep, he even sets it down crispy, bro. Like I don't even. I've never. And here's
Hmm.
and those y'all that don't know who I'm talking about. Shame on you for not knowing who Carrie Toombs is. The dude is nasty, boy. He's nasty. But
Yeah.
the cool thing about him when he pulls,
Hmm.
you would think he's like this. The way I'm talking about it, he sounds like, oh, this might be a little middle, little lightweight dude, little middleweight dude. Like, nah, he's a big boy. He's a big boy,
he's
but
a
he pulls so
he's
nice.
a tank.
Now he is not even. He don't even look real when you see him. Like this dude is all shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Like he's wide.
Yeah.
He's not short. He's as wide as he
Hmm.
is tall. You know what I mean? Like but he'll get in his wedges. I mean, bro's wedge is impeccable. Like his takeoff from the ground is. It's just. It's not like crazy explosive, but it's not so.
It's
It's
just
just
so
this.
fluid.
Yeah,
Just so fluid.
it's beautiful, bro. Like honestly, one of the most beautiful dead. I gotta get him on, bro. I see him a lot
Dude,
now. I gotta get him
yeah,
on, but he gonna be
for
mad at
sure
me because
get him on. Yeah.
all I'm gonna do is talk about how pretty his deadlift is. Like it is one of the most beautiful deadlifts. It possibly is the most beautiful big man deadlift in the game right now.
Yep.
But
Hmm.
it could I submit that it's one of the top five most efficient, most beautiful deadlifts you're going to see, big man, little man alike. Like there is no error in the way that he pulls. And it's the part
Yep.
that sucks is you can't even use him as an example to other lifters. This is what you need to pull like, because there's not a lot of people that are built like him.
Hmm.
And if they are built like him, they don't pull like him. So
Yep.
all of you that want to see somebody, man, you know what? You know, don't even, listen. This ain't even about Cam.
Yeah.
I gotta get that man his flowers because he's nasty. He's one of the. I'm telling you, man, he's one
Hmm.
of the most amazing, most efficient pullers that you'll ever see. No wonder Yaya's pulling
Hmm.
like he is. Because if you know what I'm saying, you like y'all have a little group, bro. Y'all got like y'all got about 5 or 6 little hitters that I'm like, hey man,
Dude,
it's iron is sharper than iron over there.
he's just such a great motivator, man.
Absolutely.
Me and him, like we met back in college, my freshman year of college. So I'm going on 7 years now knowing Gary. And me and him both. So like I was like 3 weeks into powerlifting and like the world or sorry, not the world, the the college record at our
Uh-huh.
college was like a 455 pound deadlift.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to my friend up in the, in our class, and I'm like, dude, I think I can break that. You know what I mean? And I was
Yeah.
a conventional puller at the time. And then I go down there. I think I warmed up like with one plate,
Uh-huh.
and then I just loaded 500, and I was like, I I pulled the wrist straps, double overhand, conventional, and I dropped the weight. And then Kerry comes up to me. Keep in mind, I'm looking at this unit, you know. He goes like, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I I literally was like, I think he's gonna fail this. And then you just pulled it, and then you just shut me up. Hi, my name is Carrington. Nice to meet you. And me and him are sitting there talking, and I look at him. I was like, dude, if you start like deadlifting, I'm pretty sure you can pull 500 within like 2 weeks. And I kid you not, unless this dude like literally stopped lifting, went to Nigeria, okay, for like 2 whole months, came back and hit a deadlift PR without without lifting at all, you
Oh
know?
my.
And then I was like, oh my God, this dude's insane, you know what I
He
mean?
absolutely
And
is.
he just had these big hands. I'm like, all right, man, you're gonna pull hook grip, and then he pulled, yeah. So
He
he taught me
literally.
everything. I know, I'm not gonna lie to you, but yeah.
Yeah, I wish, I do agree. I feel like I probably I tried when I came back from my bicep tear. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go to hook. And so I'm good
Yeah,
with a deadlift bar. I'm dangerous with hook. But
yeah, it's that
man,
wedge.
the power bar, yo, it's different. So I was like, I'm gonna
Heck,
work my way up. So I went
yeah.
from a deadlift bar to
Hmm.
a Texas power bar because a Texas power bar for me it
Yeah,
feels just a barely a millimeter over a deadlift bar. It doesn't feel like wide. It doesn't feel like it's a big circumference. But all right, bet.
yeah.
So I was like, all right. So what I'll do is I'll go from that to a Rogue. I have a Rogue Cerakote, and that was thick, dog. That was like it's thick. So I'm like, all right,
Dude, hot take, the 20 kg Rogue Ohio Power Bar Cerakote all black, okay, is stiffer than an Alico. I said it.
nah. Yeah,
That
oh, absolutely.
that
Here's the thing. No, no, I'm about to change your mind's about to be blown. The hardest, the
okay.
stiffest bar that I've ever used, I had to go get it. I had to go buy it. Was the
Okay.
Kabuki Power Bar. That
Oh,
Kabuki
Kabuki
Power
Power Bar.
Bar, that Kabuki Power Bar on me. It is the stiffest bar. It's stiffer than Lico, even the specs. Dude,
Yep.
that thing does
Hmm.
not move, bro. When you throw
Hmm.
pound plates on an on a Kabuki Power Bar, feel like kilos on a
On
rope.
your average. Yeah. Oh my God, that's
You throw
insane.
kilos on a Kabuki Power Bar, I promise you, it feels like you got gravity pulling down on you the whole time. Like
That
I
is
don't
insane.
train with anything other than that Kabuki Power Bar in my garage. Like there's no way. I turn the heat up. I try to get as hot as I can in my garage. I throw those
Yep.
kilos, and the thing is, you can't just get any kilos because if you get the if you use the Alico kilos, I ain't gonna lie, they're kind of nice. You know what I'm saying? They're very compact. Even the old school ones, like they're very compact. You feel like the weight's sitting on top of you, you're good. Nah,
Yeah.
son. If you can find anybody that has those old Titex joints,
Those tight
I,
tanks. Yeah.
yo, those are the heaviest freaking kilos you'll ever feel in your back. I got a garage
Yeah.
full of them. Those things,
Yeah.
coupled with that Kabuki Power Bar, bro, I promise you, I tell people like even my lifters that live in the Texas area, they'll come to the garage, they'll come to the pit, they'll lift like, yo, coach, this feels heavier. It's supposed to. Like you
Yeah.
walk out of my garage having lifted weight on that, oh yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
You're ready. You
You're
are
talking
ready
about
for yeah, man. Like it's
2018 national plates.
yeah, man. Like these, bro. Those
Yeah.
and here's the thing, man. When they first dropped, I remember I saw them at the Arnold. 2018. I remember I saw them at the Arnold. I'm like, bro, these are ugly, man. Nobody listening on these. These things are trash. They look like little candy pieces. I don't want to lift on these. These are whack. Dog. That first opener, because we warmed up. I think we the back, like I forget what we warmed up with, but that definitely didn't feel like what I felt outside. So when I got out the arm and I
Yeah.
did my opener, I think I opened with like 606, bro. I was like, this might be the heaviest opener of 606 I've ever felt in my life. I never
Dude,
once,
man, I hate that feeling.
yeah, bro. And you feel like, when you feel like you have one of them really good warm-ups, you feel like, yo, I'm ready, ready. And then you get out there
Yeah,
like, oh no. Yeah, that's how those
bro.
high felt. And after that, I was like, bro, I need to get some of these. And she took me like 5 years to find them, man. I finally found some, man. I'm like, nah, I gotta get these. I don't care
Yeah.
what condition they're in. I don't care if I have to
Hmm.
repaint them. I don't care, but I need to get those tie tags. Um,
Hmm.
but yeah. We gotta get back on you, bro, because I talk about all my nightmare stories.
No, man, I love hearing it, brother.
So far, so I mean, we obviously you went to Worlds, you know what I mean. You
Yep.
felt like, all right, I'm not ready, like I thought I was ready, you know what I mean. But I'm able to go back to the lab and train. So I'm pretty sure I asked Anthony this question. I'm gonna ask you when you went back, because again, that Worlds, that was your first official, I guess, introduction into international lifting.
Yep, for
When
sure.
you went
Hmm.
back home and you started training, was it one of those things where, all right, I'm training, I feel, you know what I mean, like I did get the job done like I wanted to do back home, so that's always in the back of my head as I'm training. Was that one of the things that went through your head, like, hey, you know what, I went there, I didn't do what I need to do, I got to get back on it so I can get back? Or was one of the things like, all right, lesson learned, we're not going to do that again, let's start clean slate and go?
Hmm. So dude, so like, I know this sounds like kind of like, oh, you should like kind of, so people like saying, oh, it's okay, you tried, you did your best, you know. Honestly, man, I was just like, I went home and, because I finished my flight to Istanbul, and I flew straight to Egypt at that time. And I was like, dude, I'm not gonna lie. I was talking to my family there, and like the amount of people that counted on me here, but like they were all still so proud. So I was like, oh man, I hate hearing like the it's all right, man, you did good, wishes, and like when you were just so like so close, I was like,
Yeah,
okay, this is either gonna start like my craziest like redemption arc, or I'm gonna allow it to get to me, and then we're gonna have to go from there. So sooner rather than later, it did get to me. Not gonna lie to you. And like I just wasn't feeling as motivated to train anymore. I
nah,
was
man.
still training every day, not missing a single day, but like I'm just there, lifting
Nah,
whatever I can. You know what I mean?
it's one of those things where it's kind of more discipline over motivation. Like I know that I'm supposed to
Yeah,
be here to do my job. I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna go home. It was one of those
yep,
things where, oh, I'm excited to get in there and make it happen.
for sure. Hmm.
Yeah.
And then it just hit me. I was like, dude, it's been 8 months, 9 months, or like a year, and like you've only gone backwards on your lifts. You know? And then I was in Egypt at the time. I told myself, I promise you, the meet before that. Keep in mind, so I did the 870 at Worlds, and then after that I did like 835. You know, at my next meet. So I went down pretty bad. You know, I
Gotcha.
was like, if if I hit a rock bottom in powerlifting, it was then. Uh, so I was like, okay, I promised myself. I literally, I said, I promised myself, I'm gonna go back to the States within 4 months of training. I'm gonna total 2K.
Yeah.
And sooner, I went to the States. I went back to the States. I trained. I if at that point, I'm not gonna lie to you, like I was so locked into the point where I was like, okay, I need to do this because like I was like, I can't be falling behind. I gotta. Sure, I missed the first train, but I gotta get on the next train.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm gonna be too far away. You know what I mean? So I dialed it in. I locked in as much as I could. Everything was on point with meals. My weight was at perfect weight. Training was going great. And then I signed up for a meet in March of 2024. Um, and I was like, I'm sitting here, I'm hitting the numbers. And the funny thing is, I strained my quad so bad to the point where I was like, dude, I'm not gonna be able to squat. Like I strained it on my last heavy squat single.
Oh no.
And then I was like, oh my God, I can't even like bend my leg. And I'm like, all right, so this is what's gonna happen. I'm not gonna squat until the day of the meet, and then that day, if I'm feeling good, I'm just gonna continue the meet. If I'm not gonna continue it. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna
Yeah.
hang up my bag and leave. But I just I gotta smell that platform smell again. I get to the platform, I hit my opener, absolutely smoke it.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, oh, it's about to be a good day. I was on 1,000 milligrams of ibuprofen, but I was like, it's gonna be a good day. And then I'm done with I'm getting to my second deadlift. I'm like, dude, I look at my coach. I'm like, dude, we can total. He's telling me like we can total 2K on your second deadlift. And I was like, no way. All right, and load it. And
Let's
then
do
I
it.
hit
Yeah.
the 2K. Um, and it was just that feeling of like, man, I said I was gonna do this and I did it. And now I would say I'd say I'm about half a train behind, not a full train, but like I'm ready to get back on that train
Man, I hear you.
and run it back. You know what I
Man,
mean?
I hear you on that. Oh my gosh. Man, it's been so long since I had hit 2K, dog. Now I'm just like, bro,
Bro.
you just like telling you, dog, it's one of those things. I know that feeling, man. Just
But LS, he's still in there. You know what I mean? He's
yeah,
still
but
in there.
I agree, but the thing is, man, like I feel like with there's a time for everything, right? And
Hmm.
it's not that I feel like I don't have it here because my thing is this, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about as soon as I say it.
Yeah.
2K is fine,
Yep.
but 2K ain't gonna win you nothing.
Facts.
2K is it's an awesome milestone to like to grade yourself against, but as well as I know,
Hmm.
2K might get you now in the day and age. 2K might
Yeah.
get you a third, fourth, maybe it might get you fourth place, but
Depending on the weight class, yeah.
2K is not a bro. There's 83s that are knocking on 2K now. You feel me?
I, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And
You
so
know what I
now it's
mean?
like, all right, now if I'm not, 900 was 907, something like that. That's dope. But now I gotta have eyes on 100, 100 more.
Literally.
I gotta have my like
Yeah.
if you ain't what I'm saying, far away from 1,000, like what are we really doing now? You know what I'm saying? So
100% facts.
like while I'm sure 2KLS is still in here, it's got to be 2K plus now. You know what I mean? Like that's just it is what it is. Like
Hmm.
the difference between me and you is okay, fine. You're have a train length behind. I'm probably like 3 behind right now. You know what I mean? Because I the
Hmm.
my last heavy squat that I ever had was heavy. I guess I did 754 double,
Yep.
and that was on a strained back. And then I went up to Worlds. My back messed up on me again. I could only get 300 keys, and you would have thought that I squatted 800 because I thought that was the heaviest thing that ever happened to me. Um,
Hmm.
but I haven't squatted anything heavier than 300 keys, bro, since last October. So,
Hmm.
you know, I was already behind then. I'm even more behind now. So I mean, and I'm fine with being behind because
Yeah,
I
I know
don't
what you
I
mean.
love the journey of getting back. Um, but the one thing I always had in my corner was my squat. I don't really have that right now. I don't know what this
Hmm.
thing is gonna do when I come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I gonna be stronger than I was? Because I was still nursing a right bicep that was torn and reattached. So I wasn't 100% with that. I was still doing around 490, but if this is finally close to 100%, this will probably be, 85 at the best by the time this is 100%.
Hmm.
So I'm not going to be
Yep.
100% completely. So couple that with, all right, I was already having to relearn my deadlift because I am one of them crazy ones that mixed grip. You know, I, I, I,
Yeah.
I mean, I tap out. I think the most I can pull hook on a stiff is maybe 700. And
Hmm.
well, people ain't even opening up with 700 no more. So what are we talking about? You know what I mean? So it's a
Hmm.
lot of factors go into it. So yeah, I agree. I can get
Yep.
back to 2KLS. I might be able to
Hmm.
get back to it a little bit quicker than I think that I can, but you know, Whereas you feel like you're half a training behind, bro. I know I feel like I'm about three. So I got to catch up with my old self and hopefully
Hmm.
be able to get enough bounce back in that to catch up with everybody else. And it's not one of those things
Yep,
where it's you versus them, but it's definitely you versus you. And you know how it is. When you see what
for
your
sure.
opponents, what your competition, what everyone else is doing, then you project yourself into that realm. Like, all right, they're 2100 lifters. Guess what? I'm also a 2100 lifter. So what do I have to do to get myself to 2100? Um,
Hmm.
I
Yep.
think being a competitor is one of the most beautiful things ever because there's a bit of reality. There's a bit of humble approach that
Hmm.
has to be taken in order to really appreciate the position that you're in. But at the end of the day, it really boils down to, am I physically able to get to that point? It's just straight up. It is what it is. And not only
Yep.
am I physically able to get to that point, do I have enough time to get to that point by said worlds or by said nationals? Do you
Hmm.
feel like you're at a point right now? I mean, obviously knee injury aside, do you feel like that's an approach that you take, or you like, what, I'm just gonna take it one lift at a time, or do you kind of have these timetables that you set for yourself prior to even starting the training blocks and things of that nature?
So, my plan, right before the injury, um, so since I'm dual citizen,
Hmm.
my plan was to do African nationals,
Right.
um, and hope the plan was to win that and to be the first ever Egyptian to win African nationals. And then my plan was for 2026 sorry, yeah, 2020 to do 2026 next year worlds, you know what I mean? But now I don't know. I genuinely I know like I have a partial tear and everything, but I don't know how long it will take me to get back to even just 2K. But 2K is not even like my, if I'm being
Right.
honest with you, it's just not my goal anymore. Like if I could total 2K right now with a bum knee, I still wouldn't be happy. You know what I mean? I need to like for example, like there's guys like Anthony, you know what I mean? We're talking back like me and Anthony, uh, like during like 2022 time, like, and I am not saying this, I'm not calling out anybody, but at that time during 2022, like me and him were like on par with like strength,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So now Anthony, God willing, I hope he does it, but he can total 1,000 kilos, you know what I mean?
Oh, without a
Um,
doubt.
and and he's going into worlds to win, and I hope he does win, but I also hope he goes on to Sheffield to win Sheffield and absolutely obliterate that 105 kg world record total.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I see things like that, right, LS, and he deserves all the best flowers in the world, but I need to tell myself sooner or later, Yaya, you can either keep telling yourself that you don't have it in you, or you can just pull up, give it all you have, and prove to yourself that you can still be a threat to whether it be the 105 division or the 120 kg division. But
Absolutely.
trust me, I don't want that 120 kg smoke with Rondell out there, man.
No, listen.
Rondell
Here's the
is
thing. I don't think that you're out there trying to ask for smoke. Because here's the thing, bro. I think if anyone is built to give Rondell a run for his money, it's going to be you. You know, and it's all about the tail of the tape. Rondell is phenomenal. Shout out to Rondell because Rondell is
huge
woo.
shout out. Yeah,
And
insane,
the
man. Yeah,
120s, the 120s is the 120s is all more dangerous for having Rondell in it. You know what I mean? The 120s is
yeah.
all that much more dangerous for having Bob in it. You feel me? There are some very
Mm-hmm.
the 120s are all that much more dangerous for having, legends like Mike Teixeira still in it. Um,
Yep.
there are some
ODs.
very, 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 very lethal, present company included, very lethal 120s out there that, you know what I mean? Like, it would not be the same without him. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I still hold this hope that the OG will come back and just, you know what I mean? Let's grace us with his presence one more time. Shout out to that boy Dennis Cornelius. Um,
Yep.
the coldest
Big man.
120 to ever step on a platform. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I am, shout out to my man Tony from England.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! Woo! Still one of the coldest 120s in the game. Still,
Tony
um,
Cliff, we got. Yep,
Tony Cliff, my man. But there's something about that 120 class is just they're different. Y'all are different. I
for
say this.
sure.
I say all this to say this. You have a phenomenal bench press. And if you stack your bench, and I'm sure you have, you stack your bench against any of the other 120s, there's really what, aside from Rondell and
Joseph McDonald.
yeah,
Hmm.
who else? That's really it.
Um, yeah.
So you're a top three, top four bencher right now in the 120 category.
Hmm.
When it comes to that squat, you're a top five squatter in that 120 category right now.
Hmm.
Okay. Based off the
Hmm.
numbers you got right now. Okay.
Hmm.
You look at that deadlift,
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
you're still a top fiver.
Yep, 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 yep.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and it's just
it's important. It's important. It's important to obviously
yeah.
look at the numbers.
Yep.
It's important also to give yourself some grace.
Hmm.
It's always important, obviously, to be humble in your approach with everything.
For
But it's
sure.
also important to
Always.
understand where the numbers lie. And if
Yep.
you look at the numbers do all the talking. So you don't have to necessarily ask for smoke. You don't necessarily have to seek out the smoke. It just naturally happens that way. Um,
Hmm.
that was Yaya 1.0. The Yaya 2.0, after you go through a little bit of adversity, you come out a different being, I feel.
Hmm.
Because adversity only does one or two things. Either it folds you or it molds you. You know what I'm saying? Like either you're
Hmm.
gonna come through as a better version of yourself, and or you're gonna come out a
Yep.
worse version of yourself. The men that I
True.
know, the men that I've encountered, the men that I pattern myself after, the men that I idolize, the men that I feel, impact my life in the greatest portion, present company included, are the type of
Hmm.
people that take that adversity and allow it to mold them rather than fold them. Um,
Hmm.
do I feel like you're going to be in a better position after your injury? Absolutely.
Hmm.
Do I feel like this, like how you said, it was a great thing that happened. It was a blessing that the injury happened to you. I definitely feel so because now one must concentrate solely on the one thing that one can control, and that is your bench press, right?
Yep. For
To
sure.
become a bench press technician, to be able to stack on kilos onto that bench, whereas you may not have been able to concentrate on it as much because you would have been focused on the other things. The one lift of all of them that really requires a bit more push than anything else, the one that can kill you in a meet is the one that you're forced to have to deal with on the daily, right? So I
Hmm.
feel like you're in a perfect position
Hmm.
to not only come back bigger, better, and stronger, but to
Yep.
come back with a secret weapon that's going
Hmm.
to equate a lot of the iniquities that are in the class.
For sure.
If you're
Um,
coming through and you're
yeah.
benching, you go from low fives to mid fives.
Hmm.
Now that takes you out of that top five. Now to put you in the top three area. Now you're fighting for not only a podium spot, but you're fighting for the
Yeah.
top three spot.
Yep.
Now your
Um,
deadlift and your squat are steady doing this.
yep. Um,
There's no reason. There's no reason why
yeah.
we should be like, oh, but who also needs to be
Mhm.
considered right now? Yaya out of Egypt. He ain't playing. You saw what he did. You saw what he was doing.
Yeah.
Um, or bro, which I don't know is Yaya coming to? Is he coming to? Is he gonna go to African nationals? Is he coming to PA nationals? Then now we got
Yeah.
to decide who. You know what I'm saying? In my in my in my
Literally.
mind, again, I just wish for the best for everybody. But I
Hmm.
also see people like reaching their full potential. You reaching your full potential, that's the type of conversation that's going to have to be had. What an
Hmm.
amazing conversation to have. So is he going to go African or is he going to go to PA? Because he can win either one of them.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Um, so like I will say this, so like there's everybody in the 120 weight class, absolute role models, whether if it's Devin Williams, one of the guys I have so much respect for,
Big
whether
Dev.
it's Joseph McDonald, Rondell, Bob,
Yes, sir.
they're all astronomically strong and way ahead of me right now. But I know, like, I don't know what I don't know what my full potential is as a 105 because I walk around right now at 103, 103 to 104 max, and I don't care to be in the 105 division. It just doesn't give me the drive. Anthony, he's absolute unit. He's one of the best competitors anybody could ever compete against, but I just don't have the same passion for our 105 um, weight division. I just like the 120 because I feel like I could just be more free with it. You know,
Yeah,
like my plan is to get back to where I was 110, 111, walk around at 115. And I do believe in my heart and soul that I will total 1,000 kg one day.
I
I
believe
don't
so
know
too.
when that will be. But if I could total 1,000 kg one day and be able to just step foot on the world stage again, whether if I'm in fourth place, whether if I'm in third place, second place, doesn't matter. Um, that to me is what I want to do, you know.
Absolutely.
But that's the plan to come back stronger, better than ever, get my weight back up, gain 10 kg, total 1,000 kilos, and run it back from there. That's the big goal.
Woo!
So we'll
This
go
dude,
from there. Um,
man,
I
you got
was
got
just yeah, I was telling them all, but like I was like, oh, my goal is to total 2,100 6 months ago. And I get like I haven't even totaled that. Like my best gym total is like 945 or something like that. But I don't even care for 955 or 2,100 anymore. Like I need to total 1,000 to consider myself at least to submit myself as one of the best of all time. Even
absolutely.
if that doesn't win me first. You know what I mean?
No,
So
but that puts you in a very rarefied area because not a lot of men have accomplished that in this natty realm, especially in that 120 category. So I have
yeah.
every bit of confidence in you that you can make that happen. Um, all right, I won't
Yep.
take up too much more of your time, bro,
Thank
because
you,
I'll
brother.
keep
Thank you.
talking. If not, I'll keep talking and talking. All right, y'all know how we do. We hit the questions. We hit the official questions. So everybody has the questions, man. So that's the only control on this thing, the only comment on this thing. So
Yep.
let's start with the first question. Number one,
Yep.
if you were stuck on a deserted island, what are three things you would bring with you and why? The floor is yours, sir.
Okay. Okay. So I could bring anything, right?
Anything.
All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and say like a huge tent. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Um, I'm not sure if this is gonna really matter at this point, but I am gonna need something that's gonna be able to start fires consistently. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna
Okay.
need like some type of fire starting kit or some type of for like flint or like spark starter or something.
Okay.
And give me give me give me a nice like a nice like knife or like an
Okay.
axe, you know what I mean? Something like that. Something that could help me at least chop down a tree, chop down wood, to help me start better shelter. Um, I wouldn't say like to bring food because I feel like that would just it's eventually gonna run out. If I'm stranded on an island, my best shot is to eat fish. So what I can probably do is just end up like, it's forming like this little bait, and then
Yeah.
whether if I'm putting like bugs in it or something, but that's kind of where I would
This is
go.
very practical.
Didn't
See,
really
this
ask for like any
I
radio
hope
things, so
I'm
like,
I'm gonna make sure that when I
yeah.
post this, I'm gonna add Anthony and make sure this dude, what did it hold on, I got the notes right here. What did he say? Anthony was on one, bro. He said Anthony said he was gonna bring an Alico set. He also said
Oh,
he's gonna bring an electric boat,
okay,
a big electric boat that he could sleep on or whatever, I'm assuming a yacht of some sort. And he said an unlimited pizza maker.
okay.
So and here's the
Dude,
thing,
so okay,
Anthony
so
made
like,
rules up as he
yeah,
went. Yeah, so he went with the Lico set, a big electric boat,
Oh
and an
man.
unlimited pizza supply. Hey, everyone's work. Hey, everyone makes up the rules as they go. I guess I don't know,
All right.
but for you, we got
Fair enough, man. Like
now. Yours is
in that
practical.
case,
Yours
then I'm
is
gonna bring like
practical.
a cruise ship.
Yours is more what I was thinking. You know what I mean? Anthony took it to the
Uh,
sci-fi level. I mean, a
yeah,
huge tent. Here's the thing.
yeah,
So if you got, I'm trying to help you. Allow me to help you. You already got the huge tent.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so you got the fire starting kit and you got a knife. With the knife, you said you can use that to help make shelter, but you already got a dope tent. So you don't really
I
need,
guess you're right.
you know what I'm saying?
I
Now,
guess
I'm not
you're.
saying
No,
don't
no, no.
keep
You're
the
right. You're
knife,
right.
but you already have shelter with this big tent. And here's the thing, the tent can
Yeah.
be as big as you want it to be. It's your tent. I don't care. So you can have like, this tent has a
You know what?
bedroom, this tent has a kitchen.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying,
Oh, okay.
you know what I mean? And you just said a
Okay.
big tent. So I'm like, all right, it can be as big as you want.
Okay. Okay. Let me get. Let me. Can I change something?
Yeah.
All right. Let me change that knife with 1,000 packs of MREs.
MREs?
like like military food.
I
Yeah.
know.
It doesn't expire.
This is
It doesn't
true.
expire.
1,000 packs of
And then
MREs. I hope they're good, dude.
yeah,
I
I
hope they're
think by that
good.
time, hopefully by the time I finish those MREs, I think I'll get rescued. If not, I'm gonna just survive on fish.
Well, I mean, let me see. A
But we'll go
thousand
from
packs
there.
MREs. Okay, let's say 1,000 packs MREs. That
Yeah.
is legit 3 meals a day for a year.
Yep.
Almost. But
Hmm.
you've got a big, here's the thing. You've got the big tent, right?
Yep.
You got the fire starting apparatus.
Okay.
You could probably use part of your tent. Just hear me out. If the
Yeah.
MREs were to run out, you can use part of your tent to make some type of like spear to go fishing with,
Yep.
and or you can use a screen from your tent to sift the water to get. I got you. I got you. Yeah. All right. So number one is huge tent. Number two, fire
Okay.
starting kit, and number three is 1,000
Yes,
MRE.
sir.
All right. Okay. Yeah, you should be.
Okay.
Hopefully, you rescue by then, and you could also. Yeah,
Is there any like wildlife on this island? Let me ask
I
you
would
that.
hope so.
That was an
Listen,
important question I wanted
it's
to
a
ask you.
desert. It's a deserted island. A deserted island doesn't necessarily mean it's void of wildlife. It's just there's no human contact. So, however you want it. If do you want there to be
I
wildlife
would
on this?
assume. I just hope it's not like an island, like you know. As long
Okay,
as I'm sleeping like near like
listen,
the shore.
this is your island. This is your island. So you see that Anthony made up the rules as he went. You can make up the rules as you go. Does this island have
Oh,
wildlife? It's your call. Yes, sure. It has wildlife. I mean, at
okay.
least it has fish. It may not
Perfect.
have like huge wildlife,
Yeah.
but maybe it has a few like, a few mammals that you could maybe kill, eat. I don't know. I don't know. Sure.
Yeah.
Let's say it
Yep. Yep.
does, but
Yep.
it's not dangerous wildlife. It's consumable
Okay.
wildlife. Deal and
Yep.
deal. Okay. Question number two. Who is on your who's on your Mount Rushmore? Who are
Yes,
like
sir.
four people, four impactful people that you have on your Mount Rushmore? And you're on.
Perfect. All right. So this one was a bit hard for me because that fourth one was really killing me.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go ahead and say on my Mount Rushmore is the one and only, the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali.
Woo!
My second one. Oh shit. Oh no, no, no. You still got me? All right, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. So yeah, first one would be Muhammad Ali. Second one would be may he rest in peace, Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
Third would be Cristiano Ronaldo, uh, best
Oh,
soccer player of all time.
wow.
Now this fourth one
Ronaldo, you said
was
Ronaldo over
was
Messi?
really hard for me.
So you
Oh,
said
all day, every
you
day.
said Ronaldo over Messi? Okay.
All day, every day.
Hold on. So you said Ronaldo over Pele.
Bro, I'm sorry. Like Pele was great, but it's like saying like. So wait, let me ask you this because this is gonna really hit. Do you think LeBron is better or MJ?
I would say LeBron.
All right, there you go. So why we can't be over here
I'm
bringing up
hold on.
Pele?
Hold on. Just hear me out though. Hear me out. Hear me out. This is why.
Okay.
What Pele was able to do for the game in the game, unmatched by any other. Now here's
Yeah.
and I'm not hating at all. All I'm saying about Pele is this.
Yep.
Not just how he did it, but when he did it,
Yep.
and how still after he's gone, he still impacted the game. Now, I'll equate it to
Yeah.
Jordan and LeBron by saying, cool. Jordan did before Jordan, there was like Dr. J, there was a few others that really, set the game up. Jordan came
Yep.
and really
Hmm.
blew the doors off of it. I'm like, wow, this will never be
Yes,
done
sir.
again, type, right? But then
Hmm.
LeBron came. And
Hmm.
LeBron's doing things not just on the court, but outside of the court that are just beyond, you know what I mean?
Yep. 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 Yep.
I'm not saying that Ronaldo doesn't do that. I'm not saying either way, mind you. I'm not saying either way, but I
Don't even
mean,
worry about it. Say it. Say it.
one could
Say it.
argue that Messi kind of that they're kind of in the same. You know, that's all I'm saying. There's,
Oh,
there's
no, no, no.
only
I got you.
there's only
I
one.
got
There
you.
was only one Jordan. There was only one Pele, and there
Yep.
was only one LeBron. But right now, there's
Yep.
still. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what
But
you mean.
but I will say this in your defense:
Yeah.
the only way we'll ever really be able to know is when they're
Yeah.
both done and how
Hmm.
history remembers them. I
For
feel
sure.
that whoever retires first
Yep.
will be more remembered more kindly in history. Because at this
Hmm.
point, especially in football, if you stay around too
Yep.
long, you're gonna stay around long enough to become the villain. Um,
Yes, sir.
so if if Ronaldo is to retire for the next year or two, I feel like history will remember him a bit more fonder than it will Messi because I feel like Messi just is like holding on. I feel like Messi should have retired a year ago, 2 years ago. At least that's my opinion.
Yep.
Um,
For
do I
sure.
feel like they're both incredible? Absolutely. I think
Yeah.
I just feel like Ronaldo has it all, dog. Like
Yeah.
you can't be the prettiest man on earth, one of the richest athletes walking earth, all the accolades, all the praise, and be the greatest. I'm just being
Yep.
a hater. That's all that is. It's your
Yep.
Mount
Yep. Yep.
Rushmore,
Yep.
not mine. I just
Hey,
being a
man.
hater.
I feel it. I feel it. I feel it.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, I was just being a hater, straight up. I
Dude,
literally
don't worry about it.
I interrupted your Rushmore to be a hater. That's all I just did.
Bro, you're good, man. I love it. I love it because,
Oh,
but
okay.
that just goes to show their influence, man. You know?
I mean, I'm saying. So we got Muhammad Ali number one, Kobe Bean
Yes,
Bryant
sir.
number two, Ronaldo,
Yep.
Cristiano Ronaldo number three, and number four is
Underrated pick, but because I do feel like when the going gets tough, I am a lot like him. Khabib Nurmagomedov from the UFC. Uh, he is one of my all-time favorite
this
individuals.
boy said
Uh,
Khabib. Y'all, hold on.
for sure.
Listen, just ignore the guy right now. I need you to look me dead in my eyes. This is an absolute
Yeah.
first that we've had a UFC fighter put on the Mount Rushmore.
Yes, sir.
Talk about a man after
Yes,
my
sir.
own heart. He picked a Dagestani, a,
Yes, sir.
a man of the Islamic faith.
This is
He thinks
true.
he's slick. I know what you did. I saw what you did. That is crazy work. And I can't even hate. That is,
Yeah.
listen, man. I
Yeah,
that
yeah, no. I just, yeah.
that is
I just see a lot of, I wouldn't say I see a lot of myself in him. I feel like I'm a lot like him just because of like, even when like his father passed away, the amount of passion he had for his father, the how strict he is, how strong he is with his faith, how devoted he is, it just I feel like I can relate to him a lot on a personal level. Um, so that's why I put him up there. And plus, I love the UFC. So
Absolutely same. Like people get mad at me because they're like, "Oh, I know there's a fight," because unless it's gonna be commenting during fight night every night. I'm like, "Hey, fight night commentary." Um,
yeah.
Khabib is one of those. He's one of those larger than life fighters that
Hmm.
you just. I was glad he
Wish you
retired,
saw
but I
more of.
wasn't glad. I was so angry that he retired because he was so good, and
Yeah.
but he left on his own terms. He's one of the very few fighters that has literally. He is one of the very few fighters that if all you got to do is say his name, like I know exactly who you're talking about. Um,
Hmm.
his talent transcends any sport. Just and really, he really ushered in that. He really ushered in a lot of the Dagestani, the wave of Dagestani champions, Dagestani,
Literally.
fighters. Really, and it's crazy because now in order it's in me and my buddy, we literally live right across the street, one of my best friends, we're huge UFC fans both. We always argue that the only way that you are officially considered a legitimate UFC fighter is you gotta fight and beat a Dagestani. If you don't, you're a good fighter, but
That's facts.
if you can't survive you can't survive fighting a Dagestani. You're not really you're good, but you're not great. Um, if and I'm a firm believer in this. If they wanted to, if and it's not like they're a cult, but if the
Hmm.
Dagestani fighters really wanted to, they could own every weight class in the UFC, hands
I
down.
mean, dude, think of it. You got three Dagestani champs right now. You got
Right?
Marab, you got Islam, and you got Ankalaev.
Yep.
And you see, okay, I hate to say it, I love Ankalaev, but I also really, really, really liked Alex Pereira. I did
Listen,
not want Ankalaev to fight Alex Pereira
me neither.
because I just didn't want Alex to lose, but I knew Ankalaev was gonna win. That's
See,
just
I thought after that first round, I thought that honestly, I thought that Pereira had given away that first round to fill him out. Surely he was going to come back with a different game plan, but he didn't. And it kept,
yeah,
it was like he fought on his heels the whole match. And
yeah.
you know, while I'm a big fan of the sport,
Hmm.
you have to understand coming in that you know what, Dagestani fighters fight completely different than anyone else.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just
it's like, oh, well, they're Russian. No, 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 no. They're Russian, but they're not. They don't fight like typical Russian fighters. Russian,
hmm.
you have Russian ways of fighting, which I was at Sambo, right?
Yep, yep.
And then there's the Dagestanis. The way that they fight, the way that they wrestle it's a completely different form. Um,
Yeah.
Much like there was that big wave of Brazilians that came through and just, they came through
Hmm.
with that BJJ and people just didn't have an answer for it for almost a decade. Um,
Yep.
and I believe that it's going to be a point where, I mean, if they ever open the borders up, it's going to be one of those things where you're going to get a lot of Americans, you're going to get a lot of Brazilians that are going to try to go to to get Dagestan to try to to
For
train that
sure.
style and to try to get into
Hmm.
to Khabib school if they can. I don't know that they will be able to. But for the most part it's just such an unanswerable style of MMA,
Hmm.
an unanswerable style of defense. It's just like either you got it or you don't. I mean, these kids are wrestling bears, bro. Like, what do you think? What do you think's gonna happen? This kid's not afraid of a
Yep.
bear. You think he's afraid of you,
Hmm.
a human man? But I agree. I can't even. I'm not even like. Clearly, that one set me off.
Hmm.
That this might be the coldest list I've
I appreciate
ever,
you.
ever, ever, ever seen. Like
Yes, sir.
Muhammad Ali
Thank
speaks
you.
for
Thank you.
himself.
Yep.
Kobe Bean Bryant speaks for himself.
Hmm.
Ronaldo, regardless of how I feel about him, when he retires, I'll miss him for sure.
Yeah.
But when you said Khabib, I'm like, this is my boy. Like, what? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Even though
Man,
I'm not gonna lie to you, I do think Islam does. I can confidently say he has a better resume than him, but he's just not the same fighter Khabib is. That's all
nah,
I have to say.
Islam is great, but
Yes.
I don't know that I can. I think I can say this, and I think this. Hopefully, this
Yeah.
will put a button on it. Islam is great.
Hmm.
He'll go down as one of the greatest that ever did it, but he would be considered the best had Khabib not existed. But the fact
True.
that the fact that Nurmagomedov wrestled the way he did, fought the way he did, carried himself the way he did, continues to be such a disciplined, respectable, respectful person within the MMA community.
Hmm.
It's always going to be hard to really see how great Islam is or was or is going to be because
Yeah.
Khabib exists.
Yep.
Under any other circumstance, we'd be like Islam's the greatest fighter that ever did it. Pound for
For
pound, the
sure.
greatest that ever did it. But the fact that
Yep.
Khabib existed and the way that Khabib did it and the fashion that he did it and the people that he fought and the way he defended himself over and over and over and over, his takedown defense was crazy. His ability to take down was even crazier. The way he would drag him to the deep, the way he used the cage, the way he would do stand
Yep.
up if you needed to stand up. He would wrestle if you needed to wrestle. It didn't matter. He's willing to
Hmm.
take it there, and just his overall he made being a disciplined fighter look dope. Like, yo, discipline is fire. Like, this is what it's, you know what I mean? Like, before him, let's be honest, what other fighter did you really watch? Like, yo, that is a very disciplined guy right there.
Yeah.
Let's be
Literally.
honest.
Literally. No, you're right.
So,
You're right. 100%.
you know what I mean? If ever there were a way of saying he made being a disciplined UFC fighter look sexy, he did, dude. He really, really made it like, you know what? You don't have to be this big, flashy person, but you can beat a person to sleep and submit them to
Hmm.
your will when you feel it's necessary and then
Hmm.
walk out the champion. Because bro
For
would
sure.
toy for a minute, man, and you're like, all right, fine, let's get the match over with. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
Literally. Hmm.
yo, you got me hyped right now. I'm about to go watch all, man. I gotta go to the gym.
Dude, it's
Woo, it's
it's it,
over.
it's gonna be
Oh,
such a good year of UFC too, so I'm excited, man.
yo, I'm
Ooh.
telling you, like my favorite fighter is Charles Oliveira, dude.
I knew, dude, I love Charles.
He's my favorite fighter, dude. And
Yeah.
whew, I just want him to get a shot at the belt one more time, dog. Get one more shot.
I think he will. I
I
think
want him to get
he.
it. I really want him to get that belt. I would my in my perfect world, it would be Charles gets the shot, wins the belt, and he gives Gaethje one last shot at the belt. Of course,
Yep.
he wins,
Yeah.
but I want Justin Gaethje to get one more shot at winning the championship. You know what I mean, and to be able to go
Yeah.
out. He's gonna get backpacked by Charles, but I want. Oh my gosh, I really like that dude because I feel like he's another one of those. It's just he's great for the sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, like this is this is the this is the year 2025 might be one of the greatest UFC years ever.
Dude,
Like
the John
everything is
Jones
just
fight, the Dricus Duplessis and Kamzat, which I do think Kamzat is gonna get that fight done, but then you're gonna have four Dagestani champs, man.
well. Here's the thing.
Yeah, four.
My thing is this: if you can't beat them, then that's what's going to happen. You got to beat them. The
Yep.
only one that I've seen that got close to really even making it a type of fight with a Dagestani fighter was oh my gosh, he was champion for a long minute. Middleweight. What is his name? He fights
Uh
this weekend or next weekend. A fight night. Black dude. Usman.
Kamar Usman.
Kamar Usman. He's the only one I've seen that made it a fight. Like, oh, yo, he might be able to win. But aside from that, Gilbert Burns. he kind of had a good showing. But let's be honest, aside from those two, there's not been anyone that's fought the Dagestani fighters on any level that's like, oh, he
That's
can
what
make
I'm
a fight
saying.
of it. Um,
Yep.
would I like to see them like, I mean, they're gonna that's four categories, bro. Four weight classes that low. Like, I mean,
Hmm.
yeah. Dang, I don't
Yeah.
know, man.
The
It's
only
gonna
one
be
that's going to
nuts.
be holding the title is John Jones. But I don't even know if John Jones is going to win his next fight, but I hope he does, to be
I
honest.
do
I
too. I
really,
mean, I've never really been a Jones. I was before all the stuff. I was a huge Jones fan, but it's
yeah.
kind of I don't know, man. His antics have kind of turned me off a little bit. But I mean,
Yep, yep, yep.
the next thing you
I know
know,
what you mean.
if they end up sending up a heavy, it's going. Here's the thing: a heavyweight Dagestani fighter would probably own that division because no one's those big boys. They don't have the
I'm
cardio.
I'm saying if Magomed Ankalaev goes up to heavyweight, I would rather see him fight John Jones than what's his name?
Pereira.
The no, no, not Pereira. The one that's like he's like so dedicated to fighting John Jones right now. He's
Oh, what's his name?
British. Forgot it. It's like Luke.
Oh, yeah, I know he's what is his name? That guy's so
I
not important to me.
I know. I forgot his name, but he's like
He's so
so
irrelevant. The
dedicated to like
white
fighting him.
guy, right? He's the white dude.
Yeah. Tattoos. He's like 30 pounds heavier than John Jones.
Man, I gotta Google him to see. Who's
I forgot
John
his name.
the fight?
I can't believe I forgot his name.
As
Tom?
Tom Aspinall.
Tom Aspinall. There you go. Finally.
Yeah.
God, that was bugging me. He's so he does not have that aura that Francis Ngannou low key had, which I would
Nah,
have died to
man.
see that
He has
fight.
zero
But
aura. Dude, Duplessis doesn't have the dude. Him and Sean Strickland, that was the worst fight I've ever watched in my life. I hated that. It's like watching grass grow. But
I know, man.
what
I
are you
know.
gonna do? I mean, you
Yeah.
saw what happened. Dude, you saw what happened to Izzy. Like, I thought
I
honestly,
know.
my heart was broken when I saw Izzy fighting on you're
Dude.
fighting on a fight night. Izzy never fights on a fight night. He's fighting on a fight night. I
And
was like, yo, it's
it's
daytime
like
and Izzy's fighting. What's going on? So
literally, I was like, Izzy came back, he won the belt again, and I'm like, all right, Izzy's gonna retire with the belt. And then
no.
you get beat, and then you get beat by Sean Strickland, and then
Yo, then he got beat by that.
uh
Here's the thing: that French dude that beat the brakes off of him, that dude's
yeah.
nice. I think he's gonna end up. He's gonna.
Dude, he has crazy potential. Finally
Yeah, dude.
somebody
I think.
notices
I
it.
think he'll end up. I think he'll end up holding the belt for a little bit.
Yep.
Man, let me shut up. But we'll talk about UFC.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah,
like to
yeah.
bring you back just for a
Brother, we,
UFC
we gotta
talk.
hop on a call to just talk about just straight UFC,
Real, dude.
man.
Yeah, that's that. We're gonna talk UFC. We'll do a
Hey,
UFC.
if you ever need to have talk about highlights or
Oh,
previous
that
fights,
for sure.
hey man.
I'm about to be, especially once they go to Netflix. So I definitely won't get in
Yeah.
trouble because I think I got in trouble one time trying to talk about UFC on a podcast. I'm like, never again.
Yeah.
Last question, and I'll get you out of here, my boy. All
Yep.
right,
This is the hardest question, I already know.
this is the one this is one I love the most, man, because we get to talk about the future a little bit. So let's say we
Yep.
go back, right? We go back to the lab.
Yep.
Our knees healed up. You know what I'm saying? The bench did exactly what it was supposed to do. It was stimulated by all the extra work. So we come back and
Hmm.
we're benching, you know what I'm saying, 550, 560, bro. We're sitting real nice. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like, we might be up there mentioning the same sentence as Devin. You know what I mean? Like that dude is nasty, right?
Yep.
So the
Yeah.
bench does well.
Yeah, he is.
So knee heals up
Yep.
very nice. We're back squatting everything. So squat, you know what I'm saying? Our squats, pretty much follow suit of the bench. They're stimulated. We're making moves. You know what I mean? We're working our sevens. Sevens feel good. We hit mids. Mids feel good. And we're in high sevens. They
Hmm.
feel great. Now we're in the eights. Boom. All right. That gets us a little bit closer to that thousand total. You know what I mean? Well, shit.
Yes,
Deadlift's
sir.
like bet. Well, if squat's
Hello.
gonna go up, shit, I'm gonna go up too. So our squats are good. I mean, we
Hmm.
already started mid sixes with squats, and we ain't really tripping. We end up with
Hmm.
squats. We already jump it easy, you know what I'm saying? 50, 60 keys. So we're already in the sevens. You know what I mean? Sevens are nothing. So let's go ahead and hop into eights. So we're good. So now we're in mid eights. So we got a really nice total that we've built over the last year, year and a half after healing up, right? So
Hmm.
that puts us in real good position to go to Worlds. But before we go to Worlds, we go to, you know what? Devin's my man. I don't really feel like going to the States and really beating everybody there. So let me stay in Africa and beat everybody here. I got my choice. So I'm staying in
Yeah.
Africa. I go to African Nationals and I kill it.
Hmm.
Come through like a thousand 7.5 total. Really nice, solid, nice little statements being
Inshallah.
sent out to the rest of the world for that 2026, twenty
Yeah.
twenty seven year. We're good.
Yeah.
So we're out, we're
Yep.
celebrating, having a great time.
Yep.
Guys, let's go here. Let's go over here. Let's go here. Everyone turns to go here, like, oh, I'll be right back. Let me make sure me pay the cab real quick. I'll meet you in there. You turn around, boom, gun to your face. Like, hey, bro, I know who you are. I'm a real
Yep.
big fan, but I'm gonna need that money in your pocket. Yo, wait a minute, man. Chill,
Yep.
chill, 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 chill. My people are waiting for me out there. Well, listen, I'm gonna let you
Yeah.
pass. The only way you can pass me is you got to be able to sing 15
Yep.
seconds of a song, word for word, bar for bar. That's the only way you're getting past me, sir. Okay, okay, all right. I might be able to do that. I don't know.
15 seconds. Okay.
Could you get past this guy by giving 15 seconds of a song or whatever song or a verse or whatever? Would you be able to get past him? Yes or no?
Yes, but if he gives me time to pick a song,
You don't have time to pick the song.
don't have.
You've
Okay.
got,
Okay.
let me
Okay.
see. So he says, I'll give you 20 seconds to pick a song to send 15 seconds from. Would you be able to do it?
Um. Yes, I think
All right, sir, I'm going to give you 20 seconds to pick a song.
20.
You got
Okay.
20
Okay. Okay.
seconds to
Perfect.
pick a
Perfect.
song.
Okay.
And your time starts now. 20 seconds is starting.
Okay. 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 Mm, what are we at? What are we at?
13, 12 seconds. And
Yep. I can. I think. I think I can do
time.
it.
All right, so you got your song. So, can you give me 15 seconds of said song in order to make it past this dude without getting robbed on your championship celebration night?
I think so. Yeah.
All
I
right,
think
and
so.
all right, here we go. Clock's up, and your time starts now.
All right. So this is a song I would like to dedicate. Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, California, Colorado, Connecticut,
Nice.
Delaware, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana,
Indiana.
Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine.
Man.
And then I'm done there.
Oh,
That's where
you
I
made it. You made
stop.
it. You made it. You made it. You made it to Maryland. All
I
right.
get it. I get it's like a state song, but dude, that's the only thing I could like think of where like I know I'm not gonna mess up for at least 15
That's
seconds.
perfect. Yeah, my man.
All right.
I can tell you this this is fun, man. I appreciate you being
Yeah.
on, number one.
Thank you.
Number two,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you being so open with your faith. I appreciate you out the gate. Just,
Thank
you know
you
what I
so
mean?
much,
Like,
man. Of
let me ask my questions.
course.
I
Always,
definitely gotta
always.
have you back on. Like, bro,
Thank you so much,
literally,
man.
anytime you want to come back on, bro, you don't even have to wait for the invite. Like, hey, man, I want to hop back on. I got some stuff I want to talk about, and you are more
Thank
than
you so
welcome.
much,
It's
man.
an open invitation. That's pretty much how it rolls. Once you come on once, you literally can call and like, hey, man, I want to hop on and just talk about some stuff, and the floor will be yours.
Awesome.
I'm not joking.
Thank you so much.
Um, I am I am now just as I was back then. I am forever impressed by you as a young man, as a maturing man,
Thank you so
um,
much, man.
as a
Thank you.
man
Thank you.
that's so willing to offer so much of himself to this game, to your faith, to your people that are that surround you, and more than anything, man, you're so impressive of in the way that you approach life. Um, you
Mhm.
know,
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm very selfish in that, just as as an American, it makes me mad because I'm like, oh man, why they, you know what I'm saying? Why do you have to leave us? You know what I mean? To go to Egypt. But at the
Hmm.
same time, I'm like, you know
Yeah.
what? You
Yeah.
know, we were able to get as much out of you as we could here while you were here in the States, man. They needed you there. So I bet
Thank you so
I
much,
get you can
man.
go and share that love
Thank you
and
so much, man.
that light there, man. I mean it when I say it, man. You are a very, very, very bright, shining light. Not just in the sport, but in
Thank
this
you so
world,
much,
bro.
brother.
Um,
Thank you, man,
and
so much.
if no one ever tells you, man, I want you to know that we appreciate you.
Thank you.
We
Thank you
are
so much,
we are
brother.
we are
Thank
rooting
you.
for you, and I
Hmm.
hope that you heal sooner rather than later, and that you keep
Thank
your
you, brother.
spirits up. And I didn't get a chance to tell you why you were talking about it, man. But one of the best parts of this podcast was how much you mentioned your father, and how much you talk about your father. I'm a big fan of my dad, of course, and you
Thank you.
know it always warms my heart to know that there's other young men out there that have that relationship with their father. They're able to have those conversations with them, and
Yeah,
there's something about having a very active father in your life that keeps you grounded, that keeps you humble and
sure.
really work and makes you grind. And I'm very appreciative of you being willing to share that part of your life with us. um
Of course, brother.
I
Thank you
don't
so
I
much.
don't I could honestly go for hours, man, thanking you for what you've done, for the conversations that you had, for the part of your heart that you shared.
Likewise.
Um, so like I said, man, anytime you want to come back, man, you're more than welcome to come back. For those of the people
Thank you.
that are
Thank you
living
so
under
much.
the rock and don't know how to reach you, how would they be able to find you?
Go ahead and follow me on Instagram. My name is Powerlifter. Or obviously TikTok, same thing, Powerlifter. Nothing crazy. Don't got YouTube channel or anything quite yet, but that is something that is coming into the making. So we're gonna get that done for you guys. So thank you.
I'll make sure I get those up, man. I
Yep,
cannot
yep,
thank
yep.
you enough, man. For those that are listening, man, obviously I'm done talking. Um, any final words you have for anybody listening, man? The floor is yours,
Um,
boss.
I want to thank you so much, LS, for having me on this podcast today. Corner of the Circle podcast. Such an amazing experience. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want everybody to know that no matter what you're going through, what life's got you down, at the end of the day, we're all human, and just know that nothing good or bad has always stayed permanent. So you're gonna have those bad times. You're gonna have those good times. Keep rolling with it. Keep keeping your head up, keep your chin up, keep lifting, and keep getting strong. Not just that physically, but mentally.
Oof.
And um, thank you for everything, LS. You're such a great individual. Um, you're a great father, and I hope nothing but good times, good health, good care comes nothing to you and your family and your kids. And may God keep you healthy and have a great life, consistently.
Thank you. Thank you. What you say, inshallah, right?
Thank
Inshallah. I say right?
Inshallah,
Oh,
inshallah,
I did it.
inshallah. You got it. You got it.
Thank you, my boy. I appreciate you. You almost had me in tears for a third time.
No, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Honestly, thank you.
I'm more than impressed with you and
Yeah.
what you bring to the table, man. I look forward to seeing you on that platform. I look forward to seeing you cross that 1,000 kg barrier. I look forward to seeing
Yes,
you
sir.
and on that podium, in at Worlds and really showing the
I already
world.
know where I'm gonna. I already know where I'm gonna talk about it again. It's gonna be on here. Talk
Hey,
about
let's
that
do
thousand
it.
next time I'm
Let's
on
do it.
here. Hopefully, we'll be at that 1,000
Oh,
kg mark.
hey, you
All
got
right,
an
I
open
mean, so
invitation, man. Like, yeah, I mean,
thank you
and
so much,
obviously
brother.
we'll make sure we keep tabs on you, man. Like,
For sure.
shout out. Dude, shout out everybody that was mentioning this podcast, man. Shout out Kerry for teaching this man how to deadlift. Shout out Anthony for raising the bar for all of us, man. Shout
Sure.
out everybody that really wants to just help the sport to grow. The only way it's going to grow is with us, man. And it's not just going to
Yep.
be the feds; it's going to be the actual
Yes,
lifters,
sir.
man. So get out there, get into a meet, try to get people involved in this game, man. If you need help, you know where to find me. If you need help, you know where to find him. This has been the Corner of the
Yes,
Circle.
sir.
Thank you guys very much for joining us.
Thank you.